Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be doing another Instagram video on my channel, and it's all about how to take better beauty photographs for your Instagram. And this video is actually going to be specifically for makeup artists, because I've actually had a lot of makeup artists watching my channel and telling me that they're watching my channel, and I thought that this could be a really interesting video for a few tips for you guys to potentially improve your beauty photographs for Instagram, because it's actually such a huge branding tool these days to be able to take really good shots of makeup on your client or your model that you're using. And it's really good to know these tips. So I hope you guys really enjoy the video, and let's get into it.
I also just want to make a quick note today that I am using some images from my very good friend Stella, who is a professional makeup artist that I work with on quite a regular basis. I would have loved to have had her in this video today talking about these tips, but we unfortunately live in different states now, and it's kind of logistically a little bit harder now. So I wanted to show you some examples of her work though. So if you want to go and check her stuff out, I'll leave her Instagram handle in this video for you to go and have a look at. She's got some amazing beauty images just taken on her iPhone, so go and have a look, and she'll have some amazing inspiration for any of your beauty images on Instagram.
So my first tip would actually be to know how to use the light around you. And this is a really important one. It's important to see where the light is falling on the model's face. And I always find that the best way to do this is to turn the model around until the light is fairly even on her face or his face. So I prefer to use an even lighting for these types of photos, and I would say the best way to do it is to just find the most even light in your space that you're working in. And my other part of this tip is to actually use natural light when possible, because natural light always creates a nice flattering effect. I will say though, when knowing how to use light as well, I definitely recommend using this in the earlier parts of the day or in the later parts of the day if possible. So if you've got an early morning job, it's a perfect time to take those photos, whether it be outside or potentially even near window light. And window light might be better as well to use during the middle of the day when the light is a lot harsher. This is one of the tips that I would say is the most important, because I think a lot of the main things that makeup artists struggle with when taking those types of photos is finding the right light. And harsh light during the middle of the day is not always ideal, but sometimes that's something that you have to work with. So I definitely recommend in that instance using window light, something that's natural, or even finding some shade outside if you are outside. Shaded areas are usually the best way to go, and trying to find the most even source of light on the model's face. Now my second tip is when you don't have a lot of natural light available to you, say if you're at an event somewhere in a big ballroom, or you could be somewhere in a boxy little studio somewhere with not a lot of natural light, my next tip would actually be to get an LED light. Now, I know a lot of makeup artists do have ring lights, and that is a lot of the time really useful for them, and a lot of the time that can be enough. I have heard a lot of comments though from a lot of makeup artists telling me though that their ring lights just don't offer that kind of power that they might need for particular photographs that they want to take. Especially if they don't have a lot of natural light available to them, they can be quite stark and maybe not as great to use. I haven't used too many ring lights before in my experience, so I'm not 100% certain on this, but I would recommend always using an LED light, a video light like the one I'm about to show you in this video. This is actually what I use to film a lot of my videos at home here, so I can definitely recommend them. They're by the brand Aputure, and they are fantastic, really quite affordable for what they offer. And with a dial on the back of the light, you can actually adjust the lighting really easily. You've got lots of different modifiers that you can get for it, which will actually help soften the light. You can get the soft boxes, or you can get filters for them, which can turn the light a little bit warmer if you want more of a golden glow to the model's skin tone. They're quite versatile lights and really light, really portable, and definitely something I'd recommend if you're wanting that next lift for your beauty images on Instagram. The next tip that I would recommend doing is getting the right angle. So I think the really important thing here is when you're photographing models is not to go too low or too high for these types of beauty shots. Too low can be quite unflattering, and too high can make the model's face look a little bit distorted too. So I think something in between is always best. Something that's quite level with the model's face. Getting them to experiment with their angles is always good too, because I know you don't always actually have a lot of time to find the model's right angle, so it's kind of important to find it quite quickly. And sometimes the way that I like to do this as well when it comes to this is actually asking the model, what's your best side? Because a lot of the time the models actually know best. They look at themselves in the mirror every day, and they're doing photo shoots from week to week, so they probably know their best angles most of the time, and that's probably the best way to find out quite quickly where you need to photograph from with using your phone or camera or whatever you're using. My next tip as well would be to experiment with model poses. Now, model posing is not always the easiest thing to do, especially when you want to take a really quick photo, but I would say sometimes just having a different pose can always add that little extra element to your shot. So sometimes getting the model to look over their shoulder is always a good one for beauty images, or even playing with their hair is another really good one, especially if they're a little bit self-conscious or they're a newer model. I find that one's a really, really good technique to use, just playing with their hair. So those are just a few examples that I have for those types of situations, but you can always try any different posing that you like. It can sometimes help bump your photos up to that next level. And then my last tip is to use a professional editing program like Lightroom to help edit your photographs. And I actually think this is a really good idea if you're sort of finding that programs like VSCO and Instagram are just not really doing it for you in terms of getting you the right colors or tones that you want in your images, or even just adjusting the brightness, contrast, that sort of thing. If you want something a little bit more, I'd definitely recommend Lightroom for iPhone or for Android. I genuinely think it's actually a really great program, and you can create your own presets in there, so you can use the same presets over and over again if you want. I do find that it allows you that little bit extra in terms of editing styles. If you really wanted to invest, you could get the Photoshop and Lightroom combination through Adobe. However, for me personally, I think that the Lightroom app on the phone works really well and it's free. So I definitely recommend doing that if you want that little bit more of a next step up with your photographs for Instagram. So guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and please let me know if you did enjoy it. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please click the subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure you can see all my videos that I'll have in the future. If you makeup artists out there want any more videos similar to this, please let me know, as I'd really love to do more types of videos like this and more social media videos as well for photographers. So if you're interested in seeing more, please let me know, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.